Well, welcome back. News from Abroad, episode 2. Dewey. Exciting. I'm Tammy Pescatelli. I'm here with the very funny Ray Zawadney and equally funny Colin Chamberlain. Thank you for joining me, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Did you
we
have
made
fun
it through another one.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you have fun last week?
Hell yeah. It was great.
It's just nice to have something, someone to talk to in the morning. It
was neat to talk about goofy things and have some fun, because obviously this is a show, News from Abroad, based on my column from the Weekly World News, which is the world's only reliable news source. And we had some good feedback, so thank you guys who watched it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Someone reminded me that I didn't say that, so
like it doubly for last week.
Right. It's funny because I think I've been watching a lot of podcasts and a lot of them start like this. Hey guys. Hey guys, like and subscribe. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do that, but I kind of just did. So anyway, this week's column is about a zombie who was fired for not wearing his mask at work. So I'll read the actual story, if you will. And who's going to be Frank the Zombie?
I'll be Frank the Zombie. I'll do my best zombie voice. That's
good, because if you're living with that poster behind you as a Cleveland girl, you're halfway dead anyway.
I'll cover it up.
Oh, no, I love the Steelers. Let it go. I live in PA, and I'm from Cleveland originally, so I'm kind of stuck in the middle. I'm trans football. Okay, here we go. This is a zombie fired for refusal to wear mask. I'm already dead.
Wearing a mask to stop the transmission of COVID-19 has become a political statement to some. The world is exposing Karens who shun the idea, but one former man is blasting his former employer for firing him for not wearing a mask.
I'm already dead,
exclaimed Frank, who is a registered zombie according to the 2020 census.
It's my right. I didn't die of a sickness. I was hit by a cow.
Frank used to work for the division of the U.S. government, although he can't tell us what department.
It's not that it's a security issue. I just forgot. Past life and stuff. I don't even know what my last name used to be. I've been dead for a while. That's why I don't need a mask. Yeah, the only way I'm contagious is if I bite you.
Last week, Frank reported to his cubicle like normal, sans mask. But when a supervisor asked Frank to put a mask on, Frank refused. The supervisor then immediately let Frank go from his job.
No questions. Suspensions or reviews, just a pink slip and the heave-ho. After 23 years, 20 live and 3 dead, I was never late. Never called in sick. I even came to work on the day of my funeral.
The U.S. government employs the single largest amount of zombies. Government employees, alive or dead, are required to wear a mask unless they have a medical reason as to why they can't, according to the latest mass memo. Going to the doctor was not an option for this now out-of-work zombie.
What part I am already dead don't people understand? My HMO copay does not cover more than 1 autopsy a year. Every day one of my coworkers has rotten fingers breaking off on the keyboards or ears falling off while listening to voicemails. They don't need a doctor's note. Last week staying in HR, he sneezed, blew his face right off. What good did a mask do then but to catch his nose? The lunchroom looked like an FX show.
When asked if he is thinking of filing a discrimination lawsuit, Frank said,
I have already contacted my attorney. That supervisor was a little too reanimated, if you know what I mean. It definitely was a hostile work environment. Just because I am dead doesn't mean I don't have feelings. I'm putting my resume on missing LinkedIn tonight.
That was terrific, I have to say. What a great Frank you made, Ray.
Yeah.
What a great Frank.
Well, I'm pretty dead inside, Tammy, so it wasn't really...
So, okay, so we're talking about zombies in this story. Now, I mean, the greater thing is that we're in the middle of this pandemic, which we never thought would happen. And immediately when we heard pandemic, a lot of people did think zombies. I'm not the only one. I mean, granted, I watch all those shows, Walking Dead and stuff, but that's what immediately people went, oh my God, what happens? Pandemics have always led to zombie apocalypse. Like there's never just a zombie sit-in, there's never, it's always a huge apocalypse. Do you guys believe in that kind of stuff?
Zombies? I don't think, I think I got to put the nix on that. I don't think zombies exist.
Well, would you be shocked to know they actually do?
Damn it, Tammy.
I'm telling you, Colin, you might want to hold on to your chair, okay? You might want to make sure you get up and lock your door. So there are actually some species of animals that can zombitize their host species. There's a wasp that bites a spider and gets inside the spider and causes the spider to want to spin a web so the wasp can cocoon in it and then come out. And meanwhile, then it'll eat the spider. Those little roly-polies you see? Those little tiny roly-polies that are always annoying. And roly-polies sometimes are eaten by birds and then they're pooped out, right? Well, there's a fungus that looks for the roly-polies and takes over their body, causing the roly-poly to still be alive and do what it wants to do. It's some weird thing. So that they actually, zombies, of course, they say the first thought of reanimation might have come back in the ancient Greeks because people would be buried and they used to bury them. They found these bodies where they were rocks on top of their shoulders or their stomachs, like huge boulders and stuff, not killing them, not crushing their bones, but because they were afraid that they might wake up and, yeah. Colin, are you still there? You're scared?
I mean,
I know.
I feel like we might be joking around a little bit about zombies and stuff, but when the pandemic started, I was like, this is it. Like, this is what, I don't think it's crazy to be burying people with rocks on them to make sure they don't come back out. Like,
right?
I loved The Walking Dead growing up, but when the pandemic hit, it was about 2 weeks of, I bought a tomahawk on Amazon,
Right.
And I was like, well, we better start saving rainwater because we're going to need that, Right. I'm all in. I'm all in that this is still coming.
I gotta tell you that. Oh, go ahead, Wade. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying you're absolutely right. We did hear pandemic, and immediately your first thought is people crawling around sick in the streets, and then instead it was just everybody sitting in their house watching Tiger King and complaining on the internet.
Which I'm still mad that I could have got a tiger for $2,000. That's just very upsetting. Who would have needed a security system? So doing this research, it's always fun to me that after I write this story, it kind of comes to life. Do you know that the government has a plan in case of a zombie apocalypse? It's called Con Plan 8888. And they say it's an exercise, but it brings branches of the military, all the branches of the military, plus the CDC together to fight zombies, whether they be aliens, pathogenics, or magic occult. It's a real plan. And I go, what a better way if they must know that it's there, then they make it seem like it's an exercise. It's,
So now I woke up this morning not believing in zombies, and within 10 minutes, Tammy, you told me about spiders being reanimated and the military getting ready for an attack. So
I know. Well, you guys are in New York. Take a 2-hour drive down to Philadelphia because there's a place called BioCorp Biotech that they're right now, supposedly, according to what I read online, doing work to reanimate corpses, not for this kind of crazy zombie-like thing, but they want to reanimate them without the brain so they could help with degenerative diseases or reanimating tissues to help the living. But that's going to go wrong somehow.
Has no one seen any movies like
I know.
has no one seen Jurassic Park? Has no one seen like The Walking Dead? There is no need. I don't care what the benefits are. There is never a need to play around with like, let's see if we can reanimate this dinosaur or this person or this wolf, whatever it is. Like the pros can be as good as they are, but the potential for a Hollywood like pandemic is not worth it.
The risk reward is terrible.
Well, and, it's not just like in the old days, it was like some kind of voodoo thing. And I mean, they do have these cases. The man died and he came back 16 years later to find his sister because he'd been under a zombie-like trance that was induced by this neurotoxin that a man put in, and he had these slaves, which is kind of what Jeffrey Dahmer was trying to do. You remember, Jeffrey Dahmer had drilled holes in each of his victims and was trying to put things in there so he could have sex slaves.
Ahead of his time.
And there's the guy who ate the bath salt zombie in Florida, right?
Well, those people, I remember like when that was coming out on the news, it was kind of like at the same time The Walking Dead was like coming into sort of popularity, where you started to see like man in Florida goes crazy and is shot 10 times and bites the face off of people, like, and you're like, oh my God, this is it. And I think there is, I'm not saying this is true. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I am saying that maybe it's not crazy if they said, let's just call this bath salts because we don't want to scare everybody. You know?
Yeah.
Well, the drugs, I've seen drugs so many times turn people superhuman on, like, remember back when Cops was on and there would be a guy that would be on PCP and they're like tasing him, punching him, and he's just still going. He's in like jean shorts and nothing else, and he's just taking a beating.
I wanted to tell you the name of the deadly neurotoxin called tetrodotoxin, and it's found in pufferfish. So if you ever see pufferfish, try to avoid them unless you're trying to grab them and milk them. I guess if you want to hurt somebody.
Oh, well, that's good to know because, when I do all my milking, it's good.
We have to know that all of these things are possible.
And I probably will have to stop doing this podcast because in the first 2 episodes, my anxiety is already through the roof. So I will have to take a mental health break from this after this.
You cannot. We need you. If any of you have any stories that you want to tell us about zombies or zombie-like, or even pufferfish, or anxiety, or the Steelers, or Colin's beautiful green shirt that I'm going to use as my green screen moving forward.
Oh, yeah.
Please leave them in the comments.
What do you think as far as like survival in a zombie apocalypse? Like, how long do you think you'll make it?
Well, I've always been a little bit crazy. I've always had a to-go bag immediately in quarantine, right or wrong. I went out and got weapons. I bottled up. I got a thing for 18 gallons of water and bottled that up. Went and bought a portable generator because I too watch Walking Dead. And I'm like, listen, Rick, you've taught me a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, why not? Like, it cost me $40 and 2-day shipping to get this tomahawk sent to the house. Why would I not have it?
But you realize you have to get close to them. Like, that's the other thing. Here's the thing. I would not have a problem having my weapons. I've got it planned out. I probably don't have enough canned food, but we'd figure it out because my neighbors next door are kind of weak. I could probably pillage their pantry. However, I'm not sure at my age that I have the strength to like fight for a long time. Like, I should be working out to prep. What we really need to do is the 3 of us need to start a zombie apocalypse workout that just helps you to be able to click real fast. Your arms have to be able to stay up for a long time.
Yeah, it's like CrossFit.
I clearly need to be with you two stocking up weapons because I don't watch Walking Dead. I just watch Cheers. So I'm just going to be getting hammered during this attack that's apparently coming.
Ray, how long do you think, like, okay, so they go, there's zombies, everybody run for your lives. How long do you think you're lasting?
Well, I'm just going to get so drunk that my plan is going to be just to be stumbling
You're out.
around and blend
Forget it.
in.
You've already been killed. By the time you answered that, you were already dead. I don't know. I feel like I could survive for a long time. Here's where I can't survive. Here's where I'm out of the zombie apocalypse. I can't see. I have contacts in. I have glasses. I am very much like Velma from Scooby-Doo. Go on without me. For years and years, I have collected contacts and glasses. I have so many prescriptions. So if there is an apocalypse, I am specs in the apocalypse because glasses and contacts will be currency. And if you need anything, come see me.
That's a good, I like that you're already thinking of a business plan for the apocalypse. Now that's the kind of thinking ahead that I'm not doing, and certainly Ray is not.
Yeah. I'm just going to use it as a party.
Right, and that's why you'll be dead. Thank you. But I'll try to save you as long as you can, if you can get to my house. Thanks, you guys. Colin Chamberlain, Ray Zawadney. I'm Tammy Pescatelli, and this is News from Abroad. Okay, so this is a part of the show that I'm calling Frighteningly Funny. You know, we've all traveled enough, and at 3 o'clock in the morning with Art Bell, because he was in
God.
right? Scaring
Loved
the
it.
hell out of ourselves, driving back in the pitch dark.
Especially listening to that and then getting out of the car. You know what I mean? Like somebody be like, I'm a time traveler and now I'm just savagely stealing people and taking them into the future. And it doesn't matter how sane you are. At 3 o'clock in the morning at a rest area, you're like, that dude might be in the bathroom.
Well,
Like,
I got
I'm
news for
looking
you.
under the
I
stall.
never went to rest areas because I do remember watching In Search Of and all those missing shows, and they were always last seen at this such and such rest area. So it was like, I will never go to a rest area because it will arrest your development. Like they will steal you and they will take you and they will keep you. But it lives somewhere in our minds. And you had an experience, you said.
We were coming back from a UVA football game. And I was in the car with 3 of my buddies. Now, we were in college and, you know, but we all saw it. And we were coming down 29, this highway in Virginia. We stopped to pee outside. And we're sitting on the side of the road. We get in the car and my buddy Zach goes, dude, what is that? And we're out, there's farms everywhere.
Right.
We look up and there's a green light. This sounds like I'm nuts, and I never tell anybody because I know they're going to be like,
right, no, I get it.
You're not, yeah. But it was sitting right there, and I looked at my buddy and I go, dude, what? And he looked at it, and bam, it was gone. And it literally traced off and was gone like that fast. And we were wigging out. We were like, what? what? Like, you know. Now the thing is, in Virginia, I mean, maybe it was something of ours because there is a lot of military bases and there's a lot of stuff flying around out there. But man, outside of Charlottesville, Virginia, there's not really a base.
You also had just finished peeing, so you probably had innies at that point. You
Oh, yeah.
Peed all over yourselves, scared yourself.
I actually made them look at that so they wouldn't look at mine. It's cold out here. You guys, look, a UFO. Zip.
Diversion tactics is what it was.
Yeah.
This is the segment of the show we call Finding the Funny. It's to let you know that no matter what has happened, some comedian somewhere has told a joke about it. Here's this week's comedian.
Because I gotta say, there's nothing more entertaining than watching 12 dudes with cerebral palsy get off an airplane in a row. Everybody in the terminal thinks there was some type of zombie invasion going on. He's the goalie.